Hi all, I'm on the Norfolk coast at the moment and I'm going to be photographing seals this afternoon. It's early autumn and this is a good time to start looking at the seals on the Norfolk coast because they're starting to beach, getting ready to have pups. So they're not got pups at the moment. That won't happen until about December. And then when the pups are here, you've got to be really careful because it's not easy, but it's possible to scare the mum off from the pup and she won't come back and feed the pups. So when it's pupping time, you know, you have to be really cautious. And I probably will come up during that time, but I need to stay a long way away from the seals. Even though we haven't got any pups at the moment though, I'm still going to keep my distance. So I've got my 200 to 500 millimeter zoom here and it's on 500 mil, so I've got a nice distance away from the seals, so I'm not going to disturb them or stress them out or anything like that. I've also got a really low viewpoint because the seals are low, so I'm going to get low and I want to be level, really eye level ideally with the seals, so I'm down really low. I've got lovely warm evening sunlight. It's still a couple of hours before sunset, so late afternoon sun really, and the light's lovely. It's got that lovely golden glow and it's shining right onto the seals, so they're lit almost front light, which means we've got even lighting even sides, either side of their face, which is quite good, so we haven't got any dark shadows to worry about. I'm going to set a fast shutter speed about at least a 500th of a second, and the reason for that is, although I'm not hand holding the camera, I'm using my camera bag as a bean bag really, or a support, I still don't want to get any camera shake or any wobble, which would make the picture a little bit not sharp, a little bit unsharp, let's say. It would be a bit blurred. So I've got a lot of support here, but also I've got a fast shutter speed. And in order to get that fast shutter speed, I've got the lens open at f6.3 or 7.1 I think actually. So I've stopped it down just a little bit from its maximum aperture, which is f5.6. And the reason for doing that is if you've got enough light, it's good to stop it down just a little bit, even 2/3 of a stop of light, and it means you get a sharper picture. So I've got a nice sharp picture, I've got a fast enough shutter speed, 1,000th of a second I think in this light at the moment. My ISO is around about ISO 200. So I'm just going to wait now and wait until the seals sort of maybe raise a head, or they have a little argument, or they do something interesting. And this is great spot. I love the Norfolk coast for photographing grey seals. It's really fantastic. The seals are great subjects, and even though they're up on the beach and it appears that they're not doing much, in fact there's loads going on. There'll be little arguments amongst each other. The seals are they do like a banana shape where they curve their tail and curl their head up, and that looks fantastic. They might jump into the sea and there'll be waves splashing around. And I've spent a lot of time on these Norfolk beaches and it's superb. It's just a great wildlife spectacle. I absolutely love photographing the seals here. And any time from sort of September through to around about the end of December, middle of January is a really good time. But as I say, if you do come down to the beaches when there's pups, you have to be really cautious and make sure you don't create any stress for the mum or the pup. And that means making sure you don't get in the way of the mum coming from the sea, coming up after she's been feeding, coming back to feed the pups. So you've got to keep out of their line of travel from the sea up to their pups, and need to be really aware of that. And of course, not get too close. So you can shoot with a 300 millimeter lens here, especially at this time of the year, as there's no pups around. But I'm going to shoot at 500 millimeters because that gives me a little bit more distance, and it also compresses the distance between the seals and the background, the sea, and it makes it all look a little bit more dramatic. So I'm going to shut up now for a minute and I'm going to start shooting the seals, or photographing the seals I should say, and hopefully get some really cracking shots. I'm going to spend a couple of hours here on this beach and hopefully get a nice bit of variety, from action shots to portraits to still shots, the whole works. So this is really great fun. I love wildlife photography, and on the Norfolk coast at this time of year for grey seals it doesn't get much better. So bye for now, I'll talk to you soon. Okay, one thing I didn't mention is the fact that I've got a rain cover over the lens and the camera. Obviously it's not going to rain today, but there's a lot of sand on this beach. It's a sandy beach, and sand and cameras are really bad combination. So this cover helps to keep the sand off as well as rain when it is raining. So I really would suggest if you're coming onto the beach to cover your camera up so that it doesn't get sand in it. And also if you are close to the sea, it's really easy to get a freak wave sort of crash over you, and that happened to me last year, and my camera got quite wet. Luckily it's weather sealed, and even though it was salt water it was okay, but I really sort of recommend that you keep a cover over your camera so it keeps it protected from all the elements, whether that be water or sand. So I'm going to keep shooting now, and I just thought I'd mention that because these little things sort of you gain with experience, and the sort of experience you don't want is a camera full of sand or covered in salt water. So again, I'll speak to you soon guys, and I'm going to carry on shooting for the next couple of hours now, and it's the light is fantastic. There's virtually not a cloud in the sky, so I really think I've got a good couple of hours here to get some cracking shots. So thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you soon. Right, so I've spent a couple of hours photographing the seals. Absolutely brilliant. There's so many subjects there and so many little bits of behaviour that you can photograph. It's really brilliant. And just to recap on the settings, I was on between 500th and 1000th of a second to avoid camera shake, and I was on about f7.1 ISO 200 because there's quite a lot of light about. And also one of the other things to look out for is just look for the little catch light in the eye. So as the animal's eye turns, you get a little sparkle where the sun hits the eye, and it really lifts the whole face. So I just wanted to mention that as well, so keep an eye out for that. So that's about it really. Great shoot. The weather's fantastic. The coast along here is brilliant, and I love photographing seals. There's always something going on. So if you've enjoyed this vlog, please consider subscribing to my channel, and if you do subscribe, if you can press the little bell icon so that you know when my next vlog is being uploaded. And apart from that, I hope you've enjoyed it, and thanks for watching and listening. Bye for now.